All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the sixth day of the Sanaa Music Workshop. We are very excited to kick off our last installment of film scoring with the one and only Mr. Fima Chupakhin, a world-renowned film scorer. But before we get into it and hear all of these pieces that are really amazing from some of our students, I do want to give a big thank you to all of our supporters, starting with the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, the Emerging Philanthropist of New Orleans, 4.0 Schools in partnership with Vela. They all gave us very generous grants that allowed us to host this workshop for 100% free. So we have 23 students, all virtual, all over the world, Europe, all over the North America, and also the Borenstein family, the Anderson family, and the Carrar family also gave us very generous donations. And with that said, Fima, it's your
Okay, thank you, Darian. I'm excited for our last lesson, and it makes me a little bit sad because I would want to work with you guys for a little longer because I feel like, you have great potential and all the ideas that you shared and everything that we discussed. It's very inspiring for me as well. So it's not like I'm only teaching you and telling you what to do. It's also that I'm learning from you and I'm seeing how you are given this situation and the pressure of time usually, what you can come up with in such a short period of time, and what can you share and how you can absorb what's on screen, how you can analyze it from your artistic point of view and give it life, right? Because that's what we were talking about. We help the story, we enhance the story, we all our work is to bring that story to life. That's particular scene in our case, right? Since we are moving to a particular project. So, that being said, Valerie, let's hear your idea. Let's hear what you did.
I will share my screen then.
Yes, please. Yes, you can share the logic session or whatever DAW you're using. Yeah,
Okay.
cool. That's good.
There we go. Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place, but how can I like show it with the movie? Should I just press play?
You should click on the movie. Movie is supposed to be in a different section. Just click on it. First of all, click G right now. Click G. Okay, that's good. So then on your left, is that how your screen is looking? Because you're supposed to have like an extra screen where the movie is placed.
That's the way I've had it this whole time.
Hey Valerie, so if you hit I on your keyboard,
right,
there should be a little and then you can
and then double click on that. Yes, that's good. That's good. Okay, and you can kind of like zoom it a little bit so we can see more. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's very good. Yep, and just play it.
Hey, Valerie.
I'm not hearing anything.
I think you need to change your sound settings. So Greg, do you remember how to do that? I think you go up to.
I think so. Like sound preferences.
Oh, check this out. No, Valerie, it's going to happen in Logic. So in Logic, go to System Preference, or go to Preferences. Go to Audio, and then over here on Output Settings, and put Zoom device.
Also, Valerie, I mean, I don't know, like you can increase your buffer size to the maximum so it can process all your plugins better, because it's 128 right now. You see, I input output buffer size. Yeah, go the max. And hit apply changes. Cool. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Can you hear?
No.
I don't think I can.
No, really?
In Zoom, what are your sound preferences in Zoom?
On Zoom,
Yeah.
But
Do you have an interface hooked up right now, or what?
I have nothing. I have monitors. Maybe that's it.
Built-in
Mhm.
audio.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did you share screen audio? That should be the first thing.
Oh,
to do.
that's
Seth
probably
for the win. Seth for the win.
Yeah. You have to when you hit. So stop sharing your screen. In Zoom, just stop sharing your. Yep. And now hit share screen again. There's a little box that says
Gotcha.
share audio. You have to hit that box too.
I
Did
think.
you do that?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
let's check.
Yeah. You play some of the
Verified. Enable semi-automatic control. Disable safety features. Maximum speed. Go.
What's happening to him?
I think we're switching genres.
We need distance. Head south.
Yep. That should be it. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
It's pretty cool. I love it. I think it's very good.
Thank you.
I love the beat. It's just like it makes it also like it makes it because this is the sort of futuristic picture, right? They have all this like slick costumes, attires, and then these cool cars, and with this beat, I loved it. It's actually very interesting, and I like how you did this low note on the synthesizer around the dialogue, like when she's asking what's happening to him. That was good. That's what it is about, right? So. And there was a moment of silence when we see the shots of the cars, right? Was it a deliberate thing? Just wanted to make
No,
sure.
it was. I did it on purpose. I like took away the drum kit and everything because like they're like waiting to see what happens. So I was like, I'm gonna take away the sound there to
Yeah,
like bring
that's why-
people's attention.
That's cool. That's cool because before praising someone, I want to know that you did it on purpose. If you did it on purpose, then yes, praise is yours because that's great. That is really cool. The only thing that I may say is that I didn't quite catch the beginning, like the very beginning, how it started. Because you just played it, and I don't know, for some reason I'm like, yeah, exactly.
We have time.
Look
Can we
for-
take another listen from the very beginning? We have time.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be
Sure,
nice.
sure.
Like maybe first 15 seconds would be nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hold on.
I think. Okay.
Verified. Enable semi-automatic control. Disable safety features.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like this is my. It's where like your mind wanders different places when you hear things, right? Because I was wondering if that could be the beginning of when he already is under this drug-induced state of mind. That beat starts because it's so chill, like in the whole situation, it's like chill, like this kind of trap-ish beat with like him being in this kind of energy, like and this is like to me it's very fitting in a sense of from the perspective of a character, which is one of the principles how we would score what music is doing, right? That's really cool. So how far did you get? Because I saw that you went kind of further than 1 minute, right?
No, all I did was add the drum loop. I didn't do anything else further than a minute.
I see. Cool. Well,
Mhm.
what do you like? I'm curious. Before asking everyone else, I'm curious of what do you think about your work? Because you mentioned, I'm not so proud. What aren't you proud of, and what would you change, and what would you add, and if you had more time?
Okay, so mostly I've had DOS for a really long time. I mostly just like practice my instruments all day. But when it comes to sitting down and making beats, I'm like, I'm scared of like the drum kit just scares me. And so I used Logic presets for the drum loop and played around with that. So I like, if I like could go back in time and redo it, I would just basically like do it with like my own VSTs and my own arranging and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
my own composing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
you still manage pretty well. Like I said, that's one of the things that when we put ourselves in some kind of like limitations, which in our case is time, right?
Mhm.
Time, and as I stated before, we just using mainly stock plugins, so we're not entering the rabbit hole of a million zillion libraries and VC instruments, so you can make your score like super lush and whatever. So that's not the case. I think you managed amazing. Like honestly, I really liked it. Given that you did not. So like when you were saying on Thursday, right? You were saying I remember that you weren't quite sure what to do, but you said that you had some ideas. I'm glad these ideas were manifested. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Piff.
Did you take a dip in the pool already, bro?
Oh, cool. We can hear you. For some reason. Oh, that's good. We can see him smile. That's good, but
Yeah, that's
no
all we
sound.
need.
Hey guys, what's up?
All
hello.
right, Piff.
How do you like my classroom?
Hey, man,
It's
as
a
long as
great
you're
classroom,
relaxed.
especially for film scoring. Very like West Coast vibe, What can I say?
We try.
All right. How about, what do you think? You're going to ask everybody some questions, right, Fima?
No. Yeah, well, I would want to, yes, I would want to to hear like opinions of others who just heard Valerie's score.
I just right off the bat, I really love the tempo that you picked. I thought there was a couple different things that I was hearing, but I think it was like a really chill vibe. What you picked, and it was actually different than what I was hearing. So I really like that. I guess maybe there were more opportunities for you to create sounds in coordination with some of the stuff happening in the film. But that's, I think, something again, like if you have more time, you would definitely find spots to do that.
Yeah. Valerie, I thought you did a great job, and I think you have some opportunity to use your imagination, especially you play guitar, right? Like, man, like you could have really got in there and done some trippy stuff, like just a guitar solo over that one part just would have been like insane. You know what I'm saying? Like with some distortion or all your pedals. I know you got a pedal board. You know what I'm saying? I know you got it. So like maybe like when you continue to work on it, you can kind of experiment with that and just really like lean into it. That's what I got.
May I also add something, Valerie? Think of it also like, because you mentioned that you kind of like approach it from this kind of like making a beat side. Film scoring and generally scoring is not necessarily making a beat. Sometimes you wouldn't use drums at all. Sorry, Darian. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that what's more important is the sonic world where you place characters, where you place your audience, and as a guitarist with tons of pedals, come on, you gotta, yes, yeah, I mean I didn't know that. Yeah, you can go that, because this is, look, we all have some strengths and weaknesses, right? You should exaggerate your strength. Use it if it helps the picture, Use this like some otherworldly pedals and guitar sounds to create the soundscape for your, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, because this is just, don't forget about your advantage, because maybe beat making is not your advantage, right? But the guitar playing and stuff like that is your advantage. I'm saying, what I'm saying is that like, use that too. It's not, as a piano player, I did quite a few movies where the piano was the instrument. Then I grew tired of it, obviously, and I don't do that anymore, to be honest. But this is it gives me an advantage, like harmonically I can think of blah 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 and stuff like that, but guitar gives you like such a great, interesting sound, especially with pedals. So yeah, I'm with Darian on it. So you just think about it. This is going to be one of the avenues that you can explore more in the future.
100%. I don't know why it hadn't even crossed my mind. I was playing with some really weird tuning yesterday. And I had my laptop open and I was doing this and I was like, why didn't I connect both of them,
It's all right. It's all right, Again, you're under pressure. You're doing this like 10,000 classes with this guy's workshop. I know, it's hard. Okay, anyone else wants to comment, to say something? Seth, maybe? Haywood?
Well, I put in the chat, I just felt like it was like kind of, if y'all have seen Black Panther, it kind of gave me that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Where like the scene where I think they're in the art gallery and they're trying to steal something from there. I don't know, that kind of like chill, but also like, I don't know, it just fit the mood in a way. I don't know, I really liked it.
Yeah, I love the anxiety that it gave me. I'm like, it's chill, but something is not right. So it's not like beach chill. Not Jacob Pfeffer situation. Okay, guys. So does anyone want to say anything? Like maybe Cameron, Dominic, Haywood? Just comment to say.
I mean, overall, I just love the general direction. Like, to piggyback off of what Greg said, the tempo, I thought that was great. I mean, I know in my mind, just like looking at that, like the video, the first thing that would come to mind, it's like super energetic, but I like the direction that she took it in, personally. So that's my 2 cents.
Nice. So anyone else? Just want to make sure that everyone voiced some of their like that your observation, that you guys caught something, that because like this is very useful to all of us, because I'm like I said, I'm learning from you and I'm learning from your comments also, because it's interesting because you may have noticed something that I missed, or like that something that Valerie missed.
Dominic, what you got for us?
It's like very rhythmically driven. It was like kind of driving the scene where they. Yeah.
Sorry, we can barely hear you, brother. Can you talk a little louder?
Yeah. A bit like a driving force behind the scene. It's more rhythmically driven. Yeah.
Okay, so he said he liked the driving. He felt like it was a driving force. He liked it. Great, thanks, man. Haywood, what about you? See, is Haywood around? All right, let's move to Seth. What you got, Seth? Let's hear yours.
Ooh, I was gonna make Mr. G go first, but I guess I'll go.
Nah,
This can't.
Is this like the video competition?
I'll go last.
All right. Give me 1 second.
You guys missed a treat on Friday. We had a video editing competition and it got really intense, but it was fun.
All right, should I just play the whole thing or just where?
Yeah, you can play the as much as you scored.
Okay.
So
I did about 1:20.
Excellent. It's very good.
Yes.
Approaching now.
Verified. Enable semi-automatic control. Disable safety features. Maximum speed. Go.
many genres.
We need distance. Head south.
Woo! All right. Yeah, buddy. That was really cool. It's really cool. I love it. I loved it. I like, as I said on Thursday, that phasing moment is cool. When he is experiencing this change of, like, more visible change of his state of mind, and you added some strings, you built some tension. That's good. I'm not sure. Like, maybe we'll give it another listen after someone's comments, because I wasn't sure that, like, the moment the strings entered was, like, on the brink of being rather funny than serious. I don't know whether it's the nature of the sound or just the moment when it enters, But then it was like serious music, You know what I mean? So, like, because this was like something that I'm not sure about, honestly, because everything else seems to be pretty fitting. I like that break, the fill in when the drums come in. That was good. Gets me somewhere. There was a moment where I wished that, again, if you are playing on this exterior interior differences, if you are doing this, so I think then again, I don't know whether it's the video was slightly late on my computer because of the internet, or you actually hit it there, because music seemed to me to be more dramatic while he's still, like, in the car. Right? Because the idea that I kind of got from you is that you want to add the pressure, add the tension once the camera shows you the chasing scene itself, And I'm not sure if that's where you change the mood, still him being inside the car or already there. So tell me, maybe clarify this moment in words, because this internet, I'm not sure.
Are you talking about when it goes from her talking to the outside of the car, or
yes?
Are you talking about? Okay, yeah. I mean, well, but when you were talking about the kind of funny strings things, I added that last night, and I was kind of torn between keeping it or not, because I was like, yeah, it's kind of like it helps change the mood in a way, but also, like, I didn't know if it was like, I mean, it was so short that I was like, I don't know if this is even needed in a way. So
remember, we were talking about for those who, like, may have missed that, we were talking about what's important in scenes like chase scenes, fight scenes, battle scenes and stuff. The action is pretty hectic on screen usually, so the music goes with it, like all places, but also music has to stay sort of engaging. That's why we have different layers of attention, of density. Also, somewhere it's sparse, somewhere it's just the beat like you started, which is great. Somewhere you add this layer of strings. My problem with that is that my ear gets used to it after, like, maybe 5-7 seconds, but those 5-7 seconds kind of threw me off a little bit, because I think what can be is that you have to align the entrance of the strings with some moment of action. Then it will make sense, at least in your head. Then it would be like, like a change of things, like shoo, and some strings coming in, because it all has to, like I say, it has to be glued to the picture, especially when we're using this so-called illustrative commenting method of scoring, right? Which is, like, more aligned with the picture. It has to be really precise. It's almost like chase scenes are almost like trailer music. You guys may have noticed that in trailers and film trailers, everything is so together. Sound design and music. It's like an, like we call it, there's like advertisement level of scoring. Advertisement means like you have 6 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. It all has to like nail all the stuff that is in picture. So this is like, I mean, this is a idealistic view of a scene. Obviously, we don't have time to do that. But what I'm saying is that like you have to inform your audience of why you're adding strings, because you want. I understand that you want to add tension, but where you adding them? Because something happened. Something like, she looked at him and she said like, let's go south, and that's the point when the strings entering, like it has to be just a little bit more precise. That's it.
Okay, so
That's
you would take out the kind of the one string thing and then kind of just directly go right after she says it to.
See, that's the thing. I would try what I feel the best, because Seth, the great thing about what you did is that you never do anything if you don't try. So you tried. That's great. You tried because you realized that there's something missing that is not giving you the level of intensity you want, right? So you added this. It's okay. You went for that. My only thing is that you just have to, it has to be clear in you, and then you kind of analyze by yourself as based on your musical taste, on your abilities, on your musicianship, right? And your some sort of experience. Then you say, maybe it sucks, or maybe it's great, and you feel, and you take a break, you get coffee, you go for a walk, 15 minutes, you coming back to your laptop, you playing it back, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Or like, wow, this is so terrible. It's things like that, and then you discard it and move on and try to find something else. So that's me. I'm just saying that like inform, so it starts because of something happened in the picture. Not because you want randomly musically add the tension at this moment, because that's when you produce music, just music, then it's fine. But for picture, it has to go with it, especially if we're using this method of scoring.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make too. Like the music is always important, but when you're putting it to picture, the pictures are more important actually than the composition a lot of times. And sometimes, if you take away the picture, it might not musically make sense, but when it's the film, it does work.
Right. Unless we're using counterpoint approach, unless we are actually, some people editing scenes to music that wasn't composed specifically for picture or for this picture or at all. It was just like a separate piece of music. And there are various examples of that, as I said, and as you guys should watch that lecture, 12-minute lecture that I put into resources files. Check it out. It's really cool, and it's very easy and it's fun to watch, I think, and many things like that. And I just didn't want to be too violent, because it's funny that approach of music, when music does not fit exactly the picture, is often used in kind of like violent scenes. It's, I don't know, like by Kubrick and by other directors. So it's kind of like you see a lot of blood and things going on, violence, while like some Beethoven is playing. So,
Hey Seth, man, beautiful job, by the way, man. I really enjoyed your piece. I think one thing that might have been interesting, the part where he's in the car, he's kind of going crazy on the drugs. What if you panned, because the music always goes shoo, but then what if you started panning it? Because then that kind of would disorient me as a listener and just be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, what's happening? To kind of start coming at me from all directions or something. And I don't know if that's cool or not, Fima. This is my ignorance, just saying like, oh, I felt like that would have took that one particular part.
There's nothing ignorant, man. Good. This is a good idea.
Yeah, that's the. So I guess I should probably add like a either stronger or thicker phaser. So that was the point that I was trying to make, is that phaser kind of makes it feel like it's going around your head almost.
In my headphones, it didn't. In my headphones, it just kind of, but it didn't rattle me. So you can maybe actually put a pan on it, like a physical pan where you can figure, play around with different effects. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It may also be because I use a phaser, a ring shifter, I think is what does that, because it's like a ring around you. So I'll probably switch it to that and see.
Yeah. Yeah. Play around. Yeah, man. Valerie, what you think?
I loved it. I think the strings, when they came in, they went perfect with like the moment because she's all like bewildered and they just start playing. I think it's like, in my opinion, it was really in sync with the video and just like a great job.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cameron?
Same. I mean, as soon as the strings came in, I was like, this is exactly what I was hearing in my head. So he pretty much did a great job of executing what I thought that the music that would accompany that scene would be. So it's all around great job, you know.
Love it. Rachel, I don't know if you wanted to get a word in here, but you're welcome to.
Hey, you guys. I'm just blown away by your talent. This is really cool to actually see how you're correlating, exactly what's happening on the film in terms of what's happening in the characters' heads, what's happening around the environment around them, and how that matches up to the music that really speaks to the watcher or the reviewer, that really amplifies all of those things for them. And I thought both presentations were really well done, and they gave me really two very different kinds of reactions as a watcher, as a reviewer, to both. Seth, in particular, when your strings kicked in, it really established some urgency for me. It's a chase, right? And it's a life or death chase. And so when your strings kicked in, it really showed me the urgency of that chase, and the magnitude of what these guys were running from. So that really hit home for me. And then in Valerie, what really struck me about yours was in the very beginning, those first like 2 seconds when all of the, I think it was 4 individuals were walking towards the car, and the beat that you had kicked in, that made me, in my mind, I established like, oh my gosh, these are bad dudes, like something good is about to happen. It gave me that initial buildup to what was going to come after. So I think you both did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Indeed.
Haywood, you around? Okay, Dominic, Haywood, okay, what you think?
About sets.
Yes, please.
I did really like it. I like how when it started off, like the music was sort of intense and stuff, and then how I guess when he was switching genres, I really liked that part, how it just went down and stuff, and like the music like built with the scene.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother. Dominic, what'd you think?
Saying about the strings really fit the whole he's changing genres. The tripping out on the drugs.
Dope, man. Thank you, brother.
I was going to go for something like the other way around, where the strings in our orchestral section came in first and then it changed something else there. Yeah.
That's a good idea too. Yeah. Jacob?
Nice.
What you around, Jake?
Yeah, man. I mean, most of my opinions, I mean, nothing that hasn't been said, obviously, I was super impressed with the string entrance, and, I like to see, in general, what people are thinking at the certain moments in the clip, because for me, I get, like super anxious when I'm like, because I'm dealing with so many sounds. I'm dealing, should I quantize it? Should I do this? Should I, what if there's so many ideas and ways to do it that, I'm always excited to see what other people are doing. And, and the way that y'all have demonstrated it here is, kind of gives me a direction for, what I would do.
Beautiful. Thank you. Mr. Polera, you around? If you welcome to have a word. Okay, Fima, back to you.
I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All right.
Here we go.
I got to hear Seth's first draft, and I was impressed how much he improved on it. I particularly liked that he started off with that little pad behind. I thought it was effective to have some melodic element in there. But when he hit with that big string stuff, I was like, wow, that really had a big emotional impact. That was impressive.
Cool. Thank you. I think Gregory, we have a little time to do yours, man.
Is there anyone else who did one? Dominic, did you finish yours?
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I forgot to finish it.
I'm happy to share mine. I just want to make sure everyone else went.
I'm so excited to hear it, Greg. Oh, look at the serious automation there.
There's a lot of pressure now, especially after all these, after Seth and
Well,
Valerie.
you know,
I got a lot to
you
live
already
off of.
compete with Seth and Valerie. So yeah, you better increase your buffer size, man.
Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so you guys know, it really helps, especially when you have like a lot of tricks in your session. Increasing buffer size is very good when you already doing an output, so you're not recording anything anymore. You just like mixing and doing it. That's it.
Cool. Can you guys hear it?
Approaching now. Stand by. Got it.
Verified. Enable semi-automatic control. Disable safety features. Maximum speed. Go.
What's happening to him?
I think he's switching genres.
We need distance. Head south.
That was kind of where I stopped.
Wow.
More clarinet, Greg. More clarinet.
Oh! Actually, that was all clarinet.
You got a MIDI clarinet? You play everything MIDI?
That's Hey, Greg, stop sharing your screen for a second. What do you think, Master Fima?
Wow.
Master
So
of
I'm very impressed, Greg. You know, it's really good. I like this. So I think what I love a lot is actually those level of intensity that I was talking about, because each new like cycle of your beat, there's some addition to it. That's at least that's what I heard. So and it kind of it keeps building up to when you stopped it. So I thought it was a really cool stop of the music, and then it hit with this full intensity, kind of what also Thaz did by adding those strings, you know. So that's so at that point when we hit like 1 minute in the video, somewhere around there, you know, we have this like almost fully developed track of yours. You know, I really loved this kind of that you had that in mind, or at least it seems to me that you had that in mind when you were scoring. Yeah, so my thing, like, I don't know, it's maybe just like, again, we all have, so I'm sort of imparting on you some of my personal things, but it's not necessarily the general truth or the universal truth, right? We have taste, and that taste differs. So what I would have done a little different is when I would maybe like kind of would somehow like dull the music when we are in the interior of the car when they're having a dialogue, because your track keeps going. And to me, this is again an indication of that you kind of like that is the moment when there is not enough connection between music and what's happening in the picture, you know, remember, we are glued to the picture completely, so we are like going with it. So it's like you could have dulled it slightly. It could be still the same track, because I know what you're thinking. You don't want to lose the energy. You don't want to stop it right there. So you don't want to do it abruptly somehow. So you could have kept parts of the beat maybe going on, maybe like no kick drum, nothing, just like when they're talking, and then you hear, you know, like that's gonna be also engaging and stuff like that. So other than that, Greg, it was awesome.
Great job, Greg. Yeah, seriously, I think it would have been cool to put some clarinet on there. You know, you got that bass clarinet, bro. You just got it. Like that might have been hip. Like, especially like hearing the winner of this competition, for Miss Polaire and Rachel. This was a actual competition, and the guy who won basically put video game music in it. So it's like I think at that point, anything's possible. You know.
Exactly.
So
I mean, you should also look. This is also like, because this was an open competition without any kind of direction. Because in the real world, it's not how it is. No one keeps you in the dark. A director, a showrunner, a producer, they all call you 10 times a day. Believe me, they're just like, okay, did you get it? I want it to be like this, you know. So it's like you have some direction. You have some clarity of what to do. But it's also another way that competition proved what you're saying, Darian, because there are literally million ways of scoring the same scene, and this is so funny. And this dude, yeah, who won, he scored it from the perspective of a character who finds himself in a video game. That's it.
It was so interesting to watch the different winners or different submissions to the competition, because it's just it's completely different experience watching that scene with different music.
What do you guys?
Actually,
Anybody? Go ahead. Sorry, Fima. Go ahead.
Yeah, while Greg is, I just gonna.
I was gonna say, I really enjoyed the part where you kind of cut the music right as the cars kind of turning, because it kind of gives a little high five to the sound audio guys. And I don't know, and then it goes right back into the music. I feel like that's something I need to put in my music to kind of keep it interesting.
Love it. Anybody else? Valerie, you got anything?
I thought it was great. I think the speed was on point. It was great.
Beautiful. Anybody else?
I thought it was like it made the scene kind of like comedic almost. Like it had it was a very strong counterpoint. It made it feel very different than any of the other ones did.
Nice.
Can I say something? I like the fact that the rhythm track had a lot of layers to it. I suppose as a musician, I'm always listening, and you know, if I just heard just a drum beat, I say, "Oh, that's sequence," or "Is that a real drummer?" I mean, that's not what it's designed for a musician to think about. But when I hear those multi-layers, I just find it more engaging. I don't think about those things, and I did particularly like the fact that it would stop and then come back in again.
Oh.
And I agree, you should have had at least a bass clarinet in there.
That's right. Hey, Fima, we got a couple of minutes before we take a little 10-minute break.
Well, guys, I'm trying to put in the chat there was like one more competition that was very interesting, and I just wanted I'm searching for it right now, because I want you to hear. This is kind of like completely different thing, but this is such a beautiful score, and what this composer did without any directions. Yes, it's score relief competition. Let me see. So it's interesting what he came up with, how he scored. I'm sharing it in the chat right now. It's already recorded with the orchestra. It's just fabulous what could be created without any direction from the director or whatever. So just really mind-blowing orchestration, and it's in the chat. There was
Perfect.
a
Thank you.
competition, yeah, score relief, and I just want you to like when you have a spare moment to take a look at it. It's really beautiful, and you will see. Hopefully, you will see all things that you already start noticing in terms of how it's aligned with the picture, what a character feel, what characters feel, what's the environment, and what might happen, or what music suggests, or is music suggests anything. And I want to share with you one more opinion, one more way of scoring, which I learned from an amazing video editor in Ukraine. He works on the biggest and the most interesting projects. So he told me that film music, in his opinion, and in an opinion of his teacher, who was like a guy from LA, I don't remember his name, but basically, music tunnels the vision. He loves it the most. It's again, there are no general rules, guys. It's not like I'm telling you that's the way to go and you do it always. But what he says is the music prolongs the vision, right? And it happens after what happens in the picture. He thinks this way it's much more interesting. It's much more interesting to watch a film where music does not go before something happens. Say characters, they're like saying something to each other, and only after something happened, the music kind of prolongs this emotion that you might start experiencing by watching what happened. It does not go before that. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that, guys, just pay attention to what's happening on screen. Don't only think about your music as the most awesome part of the film. Your music is obviously awesome, but it's a really teamwork. It's a true teamwork because people who give you their picture, it's their baby. They trust you. They trust you that you're gonna give this baby something that will help this baby to grow. You know, and you know, all every director and producer and everyone's gonna just hug you and kiss you if you give them what they want, and if you support the story. If you bring it to life, if you give it the right dimension, the right color, the right tone, and that's what makes us happy. If, like, in a role of a film composer, I'm happy when people don't even notice my music because it means that the scene really worked. You know, you don't in any great work, you don't look at the details at first. The work itself just consumes you completely. You like immersed, and only then you can see the virtuosity, the level of complexity, and all that stuff. You know, it's like you listening to amazing concert or watching at a painting. You know, so I want to wish you. I want you. I hope you won't stop. I hope this little workshop will serve you as an inspiration to continue experiment with possibilities, to continue. You can find tons of like smaller competitions where people share like short videos and say it's like call for action, please score my scene, and you might be awarded like not necessarily money prize, but an opportunity to record your score, for instance, which is great. You know, some little small chamber orchestra or some whoever ensemble they're gonna record your score, your music at their own expense, you know, and which is great. You're gonna have, so build up your little portfolio if you want to do this, you know, and don't forget about your strength. Don't forget about your own instruments. Doesn't mean that you have to necessarily put them everywhere, but just don't forget that you can make it's easier to make magic with something that you already know while learning about other instruments. Okay.
Fima, thank you so much, and I hope all these folks had a great time with you over this week, and we're sad to see you go, and hopefully we can do another workshop with you soon, man. Thank you so much. Snaps with Fima, you guys.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I'm
we're gonna
really.
Thank you, Fima, so much.
we're gonna take a short break when we have production class next. Even if you're not in the class and you want to hang out, I know he's teaching on FL Studios, but if you don't, you know, you can use whatever DAW you want. But we did put FL Studios a download link. If you're not using a Mac, it's in your folder. If you're using a Mac, it's free. Just download it from the Apple Store, or just use whatever DAW you want. But so let's just take like 5-10 minute break. Let's take a 5 minute break, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. So yeah,
Thank you so much, Fima.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. Keep going. Keep doing good work. Very good.
Dominic, you
Very
have a
good
question?
submissions.
Dominic might have a question. No, okay. Look, you.
I was just waiting to be back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. and I guess you all can find Fima on the social media.
Yeah, on Instagram, you can hit me up, guys, if you have questions. Yeah, I'm Fima, at Fima Music, and that's probably the best way these days. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Fima.
Thank you, guys.
All
right.
right. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right.
Enjoy.
See you later, Rachel. Thank you.
Hi guys, thanks so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Rachel. You ready for this, Darian? The cutest little dog in the whole
I saw your I saw him. He's a big guy, man. Maybe the puppy will bring some people onto our live stream. They're like, "Whoa, it's a puppy!
We got a puppy!
Got a puppy!" Oh man! All right, music production.
My lap.
Make this a
You're crazy. You're such a crazy little dog. He's like, dude, you just like sit here like this.
Oh man, he's your baby, bro.
You my baby.
He's chilling.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do that. And it's crazy, like again, like Logic, man. I'm so blown away at what you get for $200.
I know, man.
Which you really
Like
get
these
for $50.
tools. Yeah. When we were coming up, you couldn't, like, it's like, all right, well, I guess you had to get a beat machine.
Something.
With the
But
pads.
like the fact that you can like just have the video up there synced with whatever you're doing, like it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's killing. That's killing. So
yeah, Fima did a wonderful job.
Yeah, he did a great job, man. Let me I'll be back in just a second. I'm just gonna peek in here and make sure I'm not needed with this baby. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. Here we go. Starting today with our music production class with the one and only Gengis Don. And you guys have probably heard his work if you listen to Marquise Hill and a plethora of other rappers and singers and a lot of people in the hip hop industry. And I'll let him kind of tell you guys of everybody he's worked with. Now he will be teaching on FL Studios. So, but you're welcome to use any DAW that you want to use. But if you'd like to use FL Studios, there is a link to download that in our folder. If you for PC and if you use a Mac, all you have to do is go to the Apple Store to download that. So without further ado, Mr. Don, are you ready? You're muted. Up, we can't hear you, brother. Let's get this. We can't hear you. Probably did you change your settings in your Zoom?
Hello?
There we go. Gotcha.
You guys hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had to turn the phantom power on. Yeah. So thank you, Darian. Thank you, Second Line Arts, for having me. I see a lot of young faces here, you know. So yeah, like a little bit about myself. I'm actually a drummer first, and I started playing drums when I was in actually high school. So I started a little bit later, and then I moved over to production a little bit later in college. I moved over to production. So I do that. I go in between drums and production all the time. And some people that I've worked with in I guess in the jazz scene, I can say definitely Marquise Hill, Willem Dellis Ford, Braxton Cook, who else? Maurice Brown. I'm blanking on some names, but like I've done work for Solange. I've done work with ASAP Ferg. I've done work with Big Daddy Kane. So yeah, like the list goes on. Yeah, I'm really excited to teach you guys a little bit about what I know and maybe pass on the knowledge on just like basic production, just because these classes are only an hour long. So I'm hoping to get as much as I can done with these classes. So yeah. Darian,
Yep.
I don't know, like, do you want me to like, just go on ahead?
Yeah, man. It's your class. It's your room now, man. We're all here to learn now.
Cool. All right, great. So I'm seeing Seth. Seth, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18.
I just graduated high school, so I'll be
Nice.
entering college in the fall.
Nice. Brandon.
I'll be 24 in 2 days.
Nice. Well, happy birthday. Valerie.
21 in a month.
Okay, nice. Dominic.
I'll be 16 in a month.
Okay. Haywood.
I'm 17.
Okay, nice. Cameron. Cameron, are you there?
Just keep it rolling. He might have stepped
Okay.
away.
All right, Jacob. All right, and Mason. Nice. You be 19. Okay. All right. Well, I was only asking just to get a sense of like where everyone's age is, because with production, right? There's really no right age to start production. I started production a little bit later. I started production when I was like 21-ish. And so for those of you who are a little bit younger, like 17, 18, this is a great time to be starting. And those of you who are like in their 20s, it's a great time to be starting, because with production, it's essentially it's a muscle, it's like playing an instrument. I don't know who of you plays instruments, but like it's one of those things where it's a muscle memory. Once you continue doing it, once you start, you're not gonna be good at it when you first start with anything. But once you continue going at it, and it becomes second nature, there's like certain things, like I can make a beat in like 5 minutes, and there's some people who can make beats who it just takes a little bit longer, but that's because it just takes muscle memory. That's it. You keep doing it until you become proficient at it. So I just have a couple of things I want to start with. So what is music production? Does anyone know what music production is? Anyone want to take a guess at what it is?
Seth, what you got?
Maybe, I don't know. I guess it could be different in ways of like mixing stuff, or helping artists write their music as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Anyone else want to add in on that? Valerie, do you have anything to add?
Arranging
Mm-hmm.
all the instruments, basically composing music.
There we go.
And engineering it.
Nice. So Mason, what'd you say? Recording and arranging through a DAW. That's yes. So you guys are all correct. Music production is the creative process of arranging sounds in like either a digital audio workstation, which we'll be using FL Studios, which is a digital audio workstation, to create music that can be played back in demand. So all the songs that you hear on the radio, all the songs that you hear on like in movies and in TV shows, those are musically produced songs. So we're gonna go over like a few basic things. Just want to get a sense of where you guys know about music in general, because this is going to help you in music production. So can anyone tell me what melody is?
Like the hook of the chorus to a song.
Okay, and more specifically, what does a melody do?
It leads the track, I would say.
Okay, nice. So melody, you're right. Melody is when like notes are arranged in a certain order, like it's moving through time. So I can give you an example of a song that has like does anyone have like a melody of a song that they really like, or it's popular right now?
Passion Fruit by Drake.
You want to sing the melody?
No.
All right, okay. So what the one that I like to use is you guys listen to Future at all?
Yeah.
So Future has a song, I don't know what the name of it is called, but like it has a flute on it, and it's like
Mask Off.
Mask Off. There we go. Mask Off, and like it's a very popular melody. It's like da 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 da. So that's what a melody is. That's a great example of what a melody is. So I'm sorry, Mason, what'd you say? Melody gives the listener something to focus on. Exactly. Mason, I wish I could see your face, Mason, because you're dropping some gems here. There we go. So next we're gonna move on to harmony. So can anyone tell me what harmony is?
It like accompanies the melody, basically.
Okay. And anything else you want to add to that? No? Okay. All right. So with harmony, it gives a direction. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Dominic. So with harmony, it's essentially notes arranged in an order, moving through time, but played at least two at a time. So you can have harmony with it has to be at least two notes, right? So in the same Future song, there's a harmony going that allows the melody to exist in that way, right? So in production, you have melody, harmony, and we're missing one more thing. Can anyone tell me what we're missing? Does anyone know what we're missing? There we go, Dominic. Rhythm. We're missing rhythm. So with rhythm, it's like you hear the drums. It makes you want to move every single time. And you can use percussive instruments that create a pattern for people to like follow, you know? So now that we have all these three things, we're just gonna move on to essentially how we can get to create these things, right? Because every song, there's melody, every song has harmony. Well, every popular song on the radio has these things. And every song that we're gonna be creating has essentially all three of these things. So I'm just gonna share my screen with you guys so we can get to open up FL Studios. So if you guys should have already downloaded FL Studios, correct? So I want you guys to open up FL Studios with me. Hold on, let me just share my screen with you guys.
It's okay if we're using another DAW, right?
Well, this class specifically, I'll be teaching through FL Studios.
Oh.
Yeah, I told them it's okay if they don't want to download FL and they know how to navigate their DAW.
If you already know how to navigate through a DAW, then that's perfectly fine. Okay.
Yeah, most of these folks, they know what's up, at least on the basic, on a very basic level. And Brandon is probably our most advanced as far as I know is for beat making, for producing.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So who here is familiar with FL Studios in general? Anyone?
I'm familiar with it. Like I know how to navigate my way around it, but I haven't just like started producing on it.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. So, is that the case? We're going to be today. I'm just going to teach you the basic functions of FL Studios because that's the most important thing when it comes to producing is understanding how to use your DAW, digital audio workstation, because you can once you realize that like you can have shortcuts in order to get to a certain place, it makes the music production process a lot easier. So this over here where I'm in right now is the playlist, right? So the playlist is essentially where you see the song. You'll see like every instrument that you put in will be right here. And say if I want to put in like I'll put in some drums. I'll put in one shot drum. So with the drum sounds, you can either have I know you guys have the in the folder that you guys have, I put in some drums for you guys to check out, right? So I'll use a one shot here. So if I want to use like a hi-hat. Sorry, let me just change my audio settings so that you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear that? Sorry, it's a little bit frozen. Oh, sorry, it's my computer's a little bit frozen today. Moving a little slow. All right, here we go. So now that we have, so here in the playlist mode, we can add instruments individually into the playlist. So you see how it has track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. So what I like to do is I'll assign different instruments to each track just for organizational purposes. It makes your life way easier. So I've assigned the hi-hats to track 1. I've assigned I'll assign a kick to track 2, and so forth, right? So this is the playlist. It's essentially how you can see all of the instruments, and also when I'm producing as well, sometimes I'll do vocals. So with the vocals, I can assign it to each track as well. So the next thing you have, next thing we have here is the channel rack. The channel rack essentially is, if you want to make a drum pattern, a specific drum pattern. So let's use the same kick. I'm gonna input the kick right here. I'm gonna input some hats, and let's input some snares as well. Right? So what the channel rack does, it allows me to create a drum pattern inside of it so that I can just take the pattern and move it directly to the playlist. So I'm sure are you all like familiar with 4/4 time? Like you guys have a basic understanding of
everybody here can really play, man. They know what's up.
Okay, cool. So let's just create. So essentially, this is each, like the blues. You see how the blues and the reds every 4. So it's essentially, just think of it as like as sheet music. So it's the same way. If you can read sheet music, you can easily read the channel rack. So here's how you move the channel rack, the pattern that you have on the channel rack. You want to move it over to the playlist now. So you go to pattern 1 up here. You click on pattern 1, and then you click here. You click on the playlist for track 1. So essentially now when I play it, you'll hear it. You hear it? So now, let's see. Let's go to, I know I sent you guys some drums that we wanted to use. So we're going to get to that drums. We're going to get to those, but I'm just going to go through the rest of the basics of understanding FL Studios. So on your left here is usually, if you like, however your computer is set up, it'll show wherever your files are. So if you want to look through, like, say if you have an external hard drive, you can click on your external hard drive and everything that you have will be on the left. This is essentially your browser. You're able to take any sounds that you have on your computer on any files, and you can find them there. So now we have the playlist, we have the channel rack, we have the browser. So here is the piano roll. The piano roll essentially is, the piano roll allows you to create melodies. Remember, we were talking about melodies. It allows you to create melodies in it. So say if I wanted to add a, I don't know, like make a basic melody. So what's cool about the piano roll as well is that you can create melodies with, you can not only create melodies, but you can use it to pitch the instruments as well. So say I have a snare right here. Let's mute the others. Right? I have a snare here. I can pitch it down by using shift, hold shift, and then up arrow or down arrow to pitch it up or down. See? So now I can pitch it up. So that's an easy way of doing it, instead of having to, drag it every time. Instead of having to drag it every single time. So the piano roll, you can not only create melodies, but you can actually pitch your instruments as well. I like to do that when I'm creating drums, because sometimes the the original pitch of the drum that I use, it doesn't sit well with the rest of the instruments. It might be clashing with the bass, or it might be clashing with like a guitar sound or like the bass keys of the song. So I'll pitch the kick down a little bit, or I'll pitch it up, just depending on what I want to do. Right? So now that we have that, we have the channel rack, we have the piano roll, and then this last thing that I use, we can, if you have any like plugins that you want to add, does anyone know what plugins are? Everyone know what plugins are? Cool. So if you have any plugins that you want to use and you want to add it to, you want to like find them, here's a plugin viewer, and it allows you to view a plugin. Now here is the, sorry, 1 second. Here is the mixer. Now this is where the magic happens. For a lot of producers do not know how to mix. And what sets a good producer apart from like a regular producer is just having a basic understanding of how to mix your sounds, because a lot of the times when producers are starting out, their levels for their mixes aren't that great, and you can tell because like the snare will be peaking here. So what I'll show you how to one track each instrument out into each individual track. So you see here, you go to the channel rack, and on the left right here, it'll tell you which channel rack. You see how when I'm scrolling, it goes to a different channel, it goes to a different rack. So I'm gonna put the kick in channel one, put the snare channel 2, and put the hi-hats channel 3. So now I'm gonna play it, and you'll hear it. Cool. So now so you want to have a basic, so sometimes producers have like their kick or their snare will be like, the levels will just be crazy, right? So essentially, I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to have the time to teach you within the hour about how to mix, but this is just a good understanding. You should, like, when you see the levels here, this is just like a basic understanding of how to have your levels right, because the levels are crucial. Because you got to think about it. As a producer, my main focus is always going to be on what the artist is doing over the music, because production is not only about creating the song. Sorry, my apologies. Production is about creating the song, but people don't understand that sometimes the song isn't just the beat. The song is whatever the artist does over it as well. So as a producer, your job is to make sure that the song is produced, not just the beat. It's the song. So essentially, you want to have the right levels for every song. So when you're creating a music, you want to think about, always have the artist in mind. Always have like, oh, okay, they're gonna want to sing over this. So let me take some levels down for them to be able to like sing over it. And let me add a melody here, or take out a melody here, because that's the most important thing when you're producing. You're producing for an artist. A lot of the times there's producers out there who are like, solo artists, but that's much more rare than having a producer that's producing for an artist. So whenever you're producing, always have in the back of your mind, this song is for an artist. So therefore, I'm not going to add a whole bunch of things on top of it. I'm just going to add what I think is going to accent what the artist is going to do over this. So again, we're in the mixer mode right now. So kick, snare, hat. If you have any keys you want to add, you do the same thing. So you have like, you can just turn it to each channel or whatever. So yeah. Is everyone cool on that for now? Cool. All right. So now we're gonna go to one of the we're gonna use one of the drums that I put in the folder for you guys. So does anyone want to use a specific, anyone have a drum sound that they liked in the drums that I put on the folder for you guys?
Brandon, you got any drums you like?
I had one. Let me go see what it was called. Give me 1 second.
Cool. So is everyone up to date for now? Everyone like understanding what I'm saying so far? If there's anything that you guys want me to go over again in the meantime. Let's see. Haywood. So
Yes.
Haywood.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the channel rack does?
Like the channel rack is, and I think because I'm still learning like where all of your like samples are and stuff, and like you can build patterns with the channel rack too.
Mm-hmm.
So and then it just goes over to the playlist.
How do you move it over to the playlist?
Well, you take it from the channel rack and drag it into the patterns, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. What's the other
Or
way?
the other way, I forgot, was like naming the patterns, I think, or something like that.
So you're correct. You can take it from the channel rack and drag it over. But what I like to do is just click on, you see where it says pattern 1? Just click on it.
Yeah.
And click on and then click on the playlist, and then it's right there. It's that easy.
Gotcha.
But you always want to make sure it's you're clicking on the right channel, the right pattern, I'm sorry. Because you can have different patterns for each. You can have different drum patterns. And if you click on pattern 2, see there's nothing here for pattern 2, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure that you're always on the right pattern. Cool. Let's see. Dominic. So for the mixer, what's the mixer used for?
It's used to change the levels of the various tracks. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, just making sure. All right, Brandon, did you figure out a drum sound you wanted to use?
I'm still looking because Windows and downloading audio files.
Okay. All right. Well, in the meantime, let's just go to, let's pick out. I'm going to show you guys how to use like full drum. Like say if you have like a drum pattern already done, because a lot of the times now with production has been made so easy so that like people who have, even like people who aren't musicians who don't know how to create drum patterns, they can just use a drum sample that they found, and they can just use that and put it into the playlist. So I did that for you guys already. I made your lives easier because I understood that it would be harder to make like drums from scratch. So what I did was I in the folder I put I think about 15 to 20 different drum samples that I used. And I guess I'm gonna use one of these today. We're gonna just go through how to actually take the drums and put it into the playlist, and then be able to loop it and for it to be in the same BPM. Everyone knows what BPMs are, right? Cool. So let's go to.
I'm actually really liking the root drums pattern right now.
The roots?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that one then. Which one was it?
The root drums pattern.
The root.
I don't know if it's in there.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So the thing with this is that sometimes the pattern that sometimes the drum sample that you use won't be in time with the BPM that you want to use it with. So let's make the BPM 90. See how it's not in time? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this. We're gonna double click on the pattern, and then we're going to click, and then we're gonna right click. We're gonna click edit. So now this is the Edison. So what Edison is how you're able to like chop up samples and manipulate them for however you want to use them. So now we're in Edison, and if I click the space bar, it'll play it, right? But if I click L, you want to click L. And what L does is it loops it for you. So it'll replay it. It'll, instead of it stopping at the end, it'll play it again continuously. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in. Sorry, 1 second. What I want to do is I want to zoom in on, sorry, yours may look a little bit different because I have it on. Here we go. So it should look like this. There shouldn't be any colors. So I want to zoom in on the beginning. I want it to loop the drum sample that I'm using. So what I'm going to do is left click and drag. You see? Now we want it to loop it perfectly. Now we got the loop going. We'll make sure it's lined up. Everything's cool. And then what you do is you click where it's right here and it says send to playlist as audio clip. And now it should be in the playlist. Now we're gonna go back, we're gonna exit out of here and we're gonna look. So now this is the original sample that we used, and this is what we chopped up and we sent it to the playlist as, right? So now we're just gonna isolate this one. In order to isolate the track and so you can only hear whatever's on that specific track, you want to right click on the green button. So it mutes all the rest of the tracks. So now that we have that, what we're gonna do is left click, double click on the left with the left arrow button on the mouse, and this should pop up. So this is essentially where you can stretch everything, stretch the sample so you can get it to fit properly in the BPM. So now what I'm doing is now I'm going to stretch this original one. Cool. But now here's the issue. So now we got it in a proper BPM. What we're gonna do is you notice how like it was pitched down a little bit from the original. So here's the original. It's a slight pitch down, but you hear it. So here's how to get it back to the original. You want to turn, you see where it says pitch, the pitch knob, you want to turn it a little bit and then turn it back. So it's back to the original pitch. So now that we have that, we have our drum loop. It's in time, and in order to copy it, we want to copy it. Control B. Or if you're using PC, if you're using Mac, I think it's the Apple key, whatever key it is.
It's like Command V, I think.
Yes. Command V to copy it again.
Or to copy is Command C, but
Command
to
C.
paste is Command V.
V. Okay. So Command V to paste. Control B to paste in PC. So now we have that, you know. Now we have our drums, which are in time now. Cool. And so this way was to do it if the drums weren't a perfect loop, because sometimes when you find like a loop, it won't be like a perfect like 4-bar loop or 2-bar loop. It'll cut off at a certain point. So that's how you do it if you don't have a perfect loop. I think these original drums are a perfect loop, so I'm not sure. Let me listen to it. Yeah, they're a perfect loop. So what you want to do is, instead of having to go through all of that, going through the Edison again, if you have a perfect loop, all you got to do is just stretch it to either a 4-bar or a 2-bar. So now that we stretched it, we put the time back. We put the original the key it's in of the drums. So now it should be looping perfectly. Let's listen to it. See? Now it's a perfect loop. So let's see. Valerie, walk me through how to let's pick a different drum. Do you have a drum that was on the folder that you liked?
Vibe.
I'm sorry? Oh, vibe drums? Okay. So let's click the vibe drums. So walk me through the process.
So let's play and let's see if it's in time with the BPM.
Okay. Is it?
Seems to be, right?
You sure? Or I'm gonna lower the drums because they're a little bit loud. It's slightly off.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
You double click and look at the little window with the waves.
This one?
Yeah.
And then what do we do?
And you gotta zoom in to make sure it aligns with the time signature.
Well, how do we get to the next step? Remember, we right click.
Right click.
Because we want to get to the Edison, right?
Yeah.
And we click edit. So now we're in. This is how. Remember, this Edison is how you chop, especially in FL Studios. There's another way to do it, but Edison is the most like, it's the most user friendly, essentially. So we're in Edison right now, and we want to create a 4-bar loop. So how do we do that?
I still haven't downloaded FL, so.
Oh, so what have you been using?
I've been watching Pro Tools, but my computer's been acting really weird lately.
Okay, can someone help her out? Seth, you want to help her out?
You talking about switching the tempo?
I'm talking about we have a completely new drums. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move the drums over, and we're gonna create a 4-bar loop and put it in the playlist. How do we do that?
Okay. Well, is it already a loopable track?
Let's listen to it. It is.
Yeah, so you would go to the time dial.
So you left click, go to the time dial, right?
And you would stretch it to 4 bars.
You're stretching it to 4 bars. Yep. And then when we play it, what happens? Remember so the reason why we want to get it back to the original pitch is because when you stretch drum, sometimes the graininess of it comes out sometimes, and so it'll come out a little grainy, it'll come out grainier, and then it'll be harsher on the ears sometimes. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. You notice how we hear like the crack of the vinyl a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely.
It's because it's stretched out a little bit more, and so the harshness comes out. So we want to get it back to the original pitch. So you said it's a perfect loop. So what do we want to do, Seth?
Just move the pitch dial like to the right or left and go back to.
And then go back to the original. There we go. Cool. So we got a perfect loop now. So good. Now you guys understand how to get it to a now you guys understood like the basic functions of like sample. This is how you sample essentially for drums. Now we're gonna learn how to take this same technique and use it for a sample. Like say if you have like a sample that you really like. So I'm gonna go to my secret stats for samples that I like to use. Let's go to some old samples. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer. Here we go. Okay. Let's do this one. Cool. So we're gonna open up Edison. So essentially, you're going back to Edison, and if you have a sample that you want to use, right click, edit an audio editor. Audio editor is always going to be Edison. Okay. So sorry, where did Edison go? There we go. So Edison is here. So now we're gonna take the same technique that we learned for chopping up drums. We're gonna do this for a sample now, because the sample is essentially, we want to get it into like a loop as well. Or there's other ways to sample, but like for this specific way I'm teaching you, we're gonna do it a loop. Everyone like that part? Okay, let's use that part then. So now, can anyone tell me what to do? Remember, how do we highlight a certain part? Brandon.
You left click, you put your cursor on where you want to start, and you left click and you hold until you reach a point where you want to loop.
Okay.
I was just wondering, how would you do that on, I don't know if you know how to do that on Mac with like a trackpad that Mac has, since there's no really a left click unless you kind of put 2 fingers on the trackpad. Is it the same thing?
I'm not, to be honest, I'm not like so versed on like, using a Mac. So I'm not really sure.
Is there like is there a button up there that does the same thing, but it might take longer, but it's not.
So what you can do is you can make markers. There's also a thing where you can make markers. Say if I want to add a marker. So what I can do right here is click on a certain area and then click add marker. and it'll just say like marker 2, and then drag that marker, and then marker 1. I can make marker 1 right here, and then you can. So essentially, you can do that like this, and then highlight it. Sorry. This is another.
Oh, did Gengis get? Okay, he paused. All right, cool. Hey, since he's paused, I'm sure he'll jump back in here in a second. He's texting me. If anybody needs FL, they would like to purchase FL Studios, let us know. We still have some scholarships available. Seth, I got your email already, so I responded to you. But if anybody else would want it, shoot us email at second line. Hang on 1 second. Let me just get him back on.
If he has trouble getting back on, we can always turn this into a bass clarinet masterclass.
No one wants. No one. No. It was like no. So far, everybody feel comfortable with. I know some of y'all not using FL, right? I think Logic can pretty much do this exact same thing, man. Like if you I know Cam, you use Logic to make beats, right?
Yeah, I use Logic to make beats.
And it's pretty much the same. Like it's almost it looks like the new Logic even has a different view for making beats. I don't know if you have the newer version or not.
Yeah, I have. I'm trying to think. I think it's. Let me see record because I have it on my computer.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. My baby is screaming in the background.
I use let me see. Ultra Beat. It's like a plugin in Logic, and that's how I sequence everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Valerie, are you using Logic or are you switching to FL?
I might download FL, but my computer is just not handling a lot of new stuff being downloaded.
Right.
So,
no,
yeah.
trust me, I understand.
I might stay on Logic.
I'm not gonna lie. All those podcasts are taking up hella space on my computer right now, and it's slow.
Erase them after you finish. You get them hooked up. Just erase them, man.
Okay, cool.
Erase them because we don't need them once they're in the atmosphere. We don't really need a copy of it anymore.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I have them backed up on my hard drive just in case. But yeah, I'll just start wiping them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Cameron is our intern. He's one of our original. Him and I can't remember. Jacob, were you there the first camp? No, right? You came the second year. We can't hear you, Jacob. We can't hear you for some reason. Maybe because you got your earphones in or something. Your iPod. Was Cameron there? Cameron, was Jacob there the first year?
I don't think he was there the first year. I think he came.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped my AirPods in the pool one day. And they don't
surprise.
Everything in my life revolves around. Yeah, never mind. I was there year 2, with Jean Michel.
Okay, that's right.
Three.
That was year 3, right?
Oh, that was your no. I was yeah, that's right. That was your 3. Wait, no, it wasn't.
Well, John came twice.
I'm
This
trying to think. Like I know I did it years
No,
on.
Check it out. Cameron's been there all 4 years. This is our fifth. This is our 5th year. You were there on the 3rd year. Look, I was there. I've been there since day one. I know.
no, I don't think you have been.
Greg's like, I've been there since the beginning of time.
That's
I
right.
don't know.
Well, I let Gengis back in, but I guess he got dropped out again. He said he's having computer problems.
Jacob, I will say you came the best year, though. I will say that.
Which
we grew a lot. I was just gonna say that Cameron is our intern, and so if anybody's interested in that, learning how to, he edits our podcast, and also he teaches some of our preschool classes.
Okay.
I definitely need to go do the OutSchool thing. Actually, can you shoot me the link? Actually,
We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later.
Cool.
Genghis, you back?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my computer, man. It's like it's acting so slow. I'm sorry about that.
No worries. Why don't we? Because we're at the end of class now, so why don't you just give them an assignment for Wednesday?
Okay.
And then I think everybody kind of has a handle of what you did already. So let's just give them an assignment, and then we'll go from there. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, let me turn my video on. Yes. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Just sometimes it's taking on a lot of data at the same time. You know, like I'm doing Zoom, and also FL Studios is a DAW that takes up a lot of RAM. So sometimes it'll crash like that. But hopefully you guys got like a basic understanding at least of how to chop up the drums. And so what I'm going to ask of you guys is use one of the drums of the pack that I sent you in the folder. And what I want you to do is we were getting in.
It's clarinet time.
We lost him again.
Oh no, not again.
Greg, if you
Well,
start playing clarinet, we're gonna have to turn your video off.
Dominic,
Hello?
You say Dominic's having a problem downloading the folder? Genghis, okay, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is crazy.
Okay, what's the
All
assignment?
right. So, Dominic, you said you're having a problem downloading the folder?
I've worked it out now.
Okay. So, yeah. So, like I was saying, we were just getting into like to be able to do the same technique using the sample as well, right? So, what I want you guys to do is take one of the drums and use it. We want to get a 4-bar loop, and also find any sample that you guys like. It can be a sample of birds chirping or whatever. And I want you guys to create a 4-bar loop as well, using the same Edison and using the same technique that we started with, and create a 4-bar loop of drums and the sample together. Is that cool for you guys to do? Sounds good. All right.
All right, so everybody understand what the assignment is?
Yep.
Everybody good on that? Tell me again. So it's a 4-bar loop with the sample.
So we're gonna use the drums. We're gonna take a 4-bar loop of the drums and make sure that it's gonna be in time. And I want you to determine the BPM that you want to use. 4-bar loop with the drums, and then use that same technique to get a 4-bar loop of a sample, any sample that can be. And I want you guys to add it to the playlist. So you'll have 2 tracks. One track will be the drums, one track will be the sample. And I want you guys to play that and bring it in to class on Wednesday. And then the last thing is I want you guys to track out the drums to track 1 and track out the sample to track 2. Remember we talked about the mixer? So I want you guys to do that as well. That's the assignment.
All right, everybody cool on that? All right, that should be pretty. I'm interested to hear these beats, man, these songs.
What was the assignment?
I'm sorry?
I got distracted for a second. What was the assignment?
So the assignment, one more time, right? So the assignment is I want you guys to take a 4-bar loop of any of the drums in the folder that I gave you guys, right? And I want it to be in time with any BPM that you want to choose. And I also want you guys to use that same technique of chopping up drums, chop up the sample, any sample you want to use, and you want you to stretch it for it to be 4 bars as well, right? And then the last thing is, once you add those two to the playlist, I want you guys to track out. So put drums in track 1 and the sample that you used in track 2 of the mixer board. Okay.
And Gengis, could you email that to us just so we have it all in writing? Everybody can, if they forget, they can.
Yep.
They can
Sure.
dig it. Cool, y'all. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll see y'all back here in an hour for Amina's class. I think it's a listening class. Oh, bring your instruments. Be ready to play today and tomorrow for those classes. All right, everybody good?
Greg, can you send me a sample of you playing clarinet?
Oh,
it's gonna cost you.
Bass clarinet.
It'll cost you a pretty penny.
Look, this
I have
thing.
Bitcoin.
You got, that's fine. I'll send you my coin.